This fallen church steeple is just one of many reminders for Mexico Beach residents of just how much is still left to be rebuilt after Hurricane Michael devastated the Panhandle 1 year ago. Today, the National Weather Center declared the new disturbance a potential tropical cyclone. So Mary, I know that you're an educator at heart. Can you tell me a little bit about why this program is so important to you? The Missouri House approved a bill allowing schools to offer a course studying religious texts like the Bible, the Quran, or the Book of Mormon. Here at Marian Technical College, students and instructors make sure to do a pre-trip inspection before every journey to ensure their safety and the safety of others on the road. So it looks like you're done with the guacamole. So why don't you demonstrate some chip to guac application for me? Some South Carolina lawmakers are pushing for mental health education in schools to help save lives. Panama City is experiencing a wage and housing crisis 1 year after Hurricane Michael devastated the Panhandle. Many businesses had to close and were abandoned, just like this one behind me, completely devastated from the storm. Panhandle community members expressed a need for investment in housing and new businesses. Residents are hopeful that by bringing in new business and more housing, the Panhandle will recover faster.
Sandwich prep, stove, griddle, fryers.
Mike Scoggins has owned a beachfront restaurant in Mexico Beach for more than 15 years. But his business, Killer Seafood, was one of 367 commercial buildings destroyed by Hurricane Michael. Down but not out, Scoggins came up with an idea to put himself back to work and bring business to Mexico Beach.
So I've come up with the best and quickest way to get back into the game here in the restaurant is to get a food trailer.
Scoggins ordered a food trailer to operate on his beachfront property that's on U.S. Highway 98. The main road that runs through town. But that highway still shut down. Construction delays mean the road might finally open this month.
The highway opening back up and Killer Seafood opening back up, it's going to create a reason for more people to come to town.
Former Florida House Speaker Alan Bentz says businesses like Killer Seafood are key to restoring the Panhandle by bringing in new jobs.
If you want to open up a business, we invite you. We need your help. We will be very accommodating to you.
Bentz is the co-chairman for Rebuild 850, an organization dedicated to providing the Panhandle with ongoing support in the recovery efforts. Research from the University of West Florida estimates 18,000 jobs were lost as a result of Hurricane Michael. But without housing for workers, jobs seem unlikely.
We have employers like myself that are looking to employ people. But there's not a workforce out there because there's no place for them to live when they come here.
Bentz expects the recovery to take at least another year.
People have got their head down, they're doing the best they can, they're working hard, we're resilient.
Panhandle communities with a need for investment.
Without that, Mexico Beach will die.
Knowing dollars can't replace the charm that Hurricane Michael took from communities dotting the forgotten coast.
My family's lived here 100 years. This is the place I love best in the whole wide world. And it upsets me that it's going to change, but there's nothing we can do about it. And if we want to stay relevant and here, we've got to accept it.
And Mike Scoggins is ready.
When it gets done and when things get rebuilt, it's going to be a beautiful little town again because the beach is always going to be here.
With at least one familiar restaurant ready to serve seafood once again. 68,000 businesses in 12 Florida Panhandle counties were damaged in the storm. Rebuild 850 is encouraging Floridians to invest in real estate or businesses to help stimulate the Panhandle's economy. Maria Roberts, WUFT News.
Welcome back to First at 5. If you're worried about a strange bug in your backyard or in your house, UF is the place to turn.
You can send a sample or a picture to the Insect ID Lab. Maria Roberts joins us live from the newsroom after visiting the lab today.
Will work identifying insects and providing expert advice. And as it turns out, business is booming. UF's Insect Identification Lab manager Lyle Bust prefers days when he only needs a microscope and an ID book to do his work. Now he's spending more time behind the computer as the amount of photos submitted has increased to a record number. Last year, he received 800 digital samples in comparison to 500 physical ones.
My main job is to help the people of Florida identify their bug problems and give them suggestions on what to do about them.
Even after 17 years of running the lab, sometimes Bus will get stumped.
When that happens, he reaches out to other entomologists.
If there is a beetle that I don't recognize, I can find a beetle expert that will help me out.
The samples come from pest control companies, county extension offices around the state, or from homeowners. He believes the recent uptick may be due to weather changes.
And you know how it is in Florida, there are a lot of exotic pests that have made their way into the state by accident or sometimes even intentional.
UF Extension scientist Jennifer Gillette Kaufman says the lab is also becoming better known through social media. She does her best to identify insects in pictures that people send to their Twitter and Facebook accounts.
Sometimes it can be 2 or 3 a day. Sometimes I get lucky and I'll go a couple days without getting any of those questions.
Anything Gillette Kaufman cannot identify herself, she directs to BUS. They just recently identified a new species of bedbug in Florida.
We're always on the lookout for exotic insects.
The lab wants to stay on top of invasive species popping up in Florida, so keep those weird bugs coming. Reporting live from the UF Newsroom, Maria Roberts, WUFT News.
And 2 years after Hurricane Irma hit Gainesville, the downed trees clogging parts of Hogtown Creek are finally getting attention.
WFT's Maria Roberts watched the initial work yesterday evening and joins us from the newsroom with the story.
Over the next week, Brico Contracting will be removing critical debris from the creek, which should help with flooding after heavy rain. People who live nearby told me this tree removal has been a long time coming.
Sebastian Elisher has lived on Hogtown Creek for over 3 years now. He moved to the property to be closer to his job and to enjoy the creek's natural scenery. But Elisher, as well as his neighbors, have spent the last 2 years struggling to clear the creek of debris from Hurricane Irma.
The debris is stopping the water, which means there isn't a normal water flow. And that causes erosion and increases the risks of flooding. So that is a direct threat to property owners.
Finally, some of the debris is being removed. But why did the tree removal take so long?
The city, unfortunately, has not been active at all in this regard, which is problematic because, or we believe it's problematic because the city uses Hogtown Creek for its stormwater management, and there is significantly more water in the creek now because of all the new developments.
But thanks to a grant from Keep Alachua County Beautiful, the debris is finally being removed. KACB's Executive Director Gina Hawkins says she hopes removing the debris will provide the community some relief.
We're hoping that once we remediate this issue that it won't be a problem here, but there are still plenty of other places in Gainesville, along Possum Creek, Hogtown Creek, all of our creeks that need help.
In addition to providing $10,000 to the project, KACB helped find a contractor willing to work in the creek, Brico Contracting.
We've basically been trying to get contractors for over a year, and many of them say they won't do work in the creeks because the city will fine them or because the legal responsibility of the city in the creek isn't really clear.
Hawkins says the city contacted KACB and asked if they could help.
There was no other funding available to my knowledge, so we were happy to step in and ask for support at the national level to help us with our local problem.
The lack of funds and support keeps him up at night.
You want to go to sleep when it's raining outside, as opposed to stay up and watch what the creek's doing.
For $10,000, Brico will focus on removing the most critical debris. It's estimated it would take 3 times the funding to do a complete cleanup. Reporting from the UF Newsroom, Maria Roberts, WUFT News.